for the lady of the hour. She is the CEO of the Center for Human Diversity. She holds a master's degree in public health, a Master of Science degree, and is a registered nurse. Her career has taken her to the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Europe, the Netherlands, and eventually the Caribbean, where she developed her own cardiac, stroke, and physical rehabilitation center. She has worked in over 50 countries with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, tribal chiefs, Afghani teachers, and Buddhist monks, healthcare professionals, and law enforcement enforcers to improve health, decrease negative outcomes, enhance leadership skills, and decrease vulnerability. Let's give a round of applause for our featured speaker of today, Valda Ford.
Imagine that you are a person like the influencer who was not here, away on a cruise. You might see something like this. Imagine that you're feeling those cool, calming breezes, feeling that 70-degree sun, and that water that's crystal clear. And then imagine that you're seeing it from your hospital bed. When I was in the Caribbean, one of the things that I recognized was that there were many people who were young people who were having strokes and heart attacks, sometimes because of their belief systems. And in the midst of this paradise, I saw too much illness and too much death. Because many of them did not understand these numbers. You've been told to know your numbers. How many of you, show of hands, know your numbers? Some of y'all. It should be all of y'all. Make a point to know your numbers, because even though this chart tells you what is important, and in 2017, the American Heart Association looked at changing what was normal, high, moderately high, and critically high. So many times we are of the opinion that we're okay, and we've moved into a place that we could do better. So know this chart. And then, if you are a person who is experiencing something wrong, a stroke, many people think they know what a stroke looks like, but remember fast. If you have your face drooping, if you have your arms unable to move, if your speech is impaired, then take the time to get somewhere fast. Like Tracy, I lost two of my dear, dear aunts because they, even sitting in a room with people who were saying, something is wrong, Auntie, will you please go to the doctor? They said, no, I can't be having a stroke. This is something that will go away. Both of them did not see the morning come. Do not talk yourself out of it because you have too much going on. If you stop and check yourself out, perhaps you can tell your story that will keep the next person from being the statistic much too often. What are some things you know about blood pressure? Anyone want to shout out something they know about blood pressure? How many of you can tell when your blood pressure is high? Show of hands. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Those same people who think they know when their blood pressure is high without checking it are the ones experiencing the previous slide. Blood pressure rarely gives you any signs until you are in a hell of trouble. Not a little bit. You're in that bad trouble because you think, oh, I'll have a headache. What else do you think is a symptom? Those of you who raise your hands, tell me what you think you know. A tight chest, heart racing, tingling, ringing in the ear. All those might happen for a number of reasons, but most of the time, if you're experiencing those symptoms because your blood pressure is high, you better be in an ambulance on the way to somewhere, or at least making a dedicated appointment to see somebody to figure out what's going on. And I'll tell you why. As a nursing instructor, I was teaching nurse practitioners how to do whatever they do. And one of the things they had to do was take my blood pressure. Have you seen those kind where they have the two different stethoscopes going on? So I could listen, they could listen. And the student said, Miss Ford, your blood pressure is 160 over 90. I said, child, did you even study? Do you have a license? Are you sure you know what you're talking about? I just had my physical, and it was, as usual, 115 over 70. So she had that look like her blood pressure was going up. And so I said, check it again. She said, now it's 170 over 100. I said, go sit down, girl. Go sit down. And the rest of the people in line were like, oh my God, we're not going to get through this course. But I can tell you, I was smart enough that at the end of the day, I got one of my colleagues, a nurse practitioner, to check my blood pressure. And she said, your blood pressure is 180 over 100. Guess what I did next? Went to see somebody. Now, the unfortunate thing was that my love of my life, my favorite doctor, had just been transferred over to the Veterans Administration Center, and I could not see her. So I went to her replacement. I called, I got an appointment immediately. Well, let me tell you something. When you get in a doctor's office immediately, for a doctor you don't know, it's like getting in a steakhouse immediately. It means you don't want that steak. Have a great relationship with your healthcare provider. I went in there, my blood pressure was high. He says, well, you're hysterical. I said, I'm hysterical because my blood pressure is high. We went back and forth, and he said, okay, I'm going to send you home with some medicine. You check your blood pressure, and then you come back. I said, you know what? I know the standards, and the standard is 180. This little color girl needs to go in the hospital. We fought about it, and finally he put me in there. It was a nightmare, and they kept asking me, Miss Ford, when did you stop taking your blood pressure medicine? I'd never been on it because I never needed to be. You have to advocate for yourself. I'm a professor at a prestigious medical center, a school of nursing, a medical school, and I'm having to fight. Don't stop when you know you're right. Ultimately, 4 days later, I got to go home. And I've been on blood pressure medications ever since, but it's very well controlled. But let me tell you some things y'all thinking, especially those who had your hands up. High blood pressure is obvious. It's not. We have established that, right? It's not obvious. You can stop just adding salt, and that's all you have to do. Well, salt can be helpful, but you need to do more. And you can stop your meds and use garlic tablets. Anybody hear that? You want to just use the natural thing. Everybody think natural is better than the things that come out of the pharmaceutical company. But guess what? Aspirin came from a tree bark, and you know that cocaine, well, never mind. You think that a couple of glasses of wine is going to help. And let me tell you, the red wine is not any more helpful because alcohol can actually raise your blood pressure. You do better to have that cup of coffee that you think you can't have because your blood pressure is high. Okay, y'all go read some stuff. Okay, don't be just making up stuff. Men are more likely to have hypertension. That might be true until after menopause when we lose our protection from estrogen. And then men make us have hypertension. So, you're right. I don't have to worry because I'm young. Younger and younger people are getting hypertension. Teens, young people, mainly because of our obesity epidemic and a lot of other things, including the foods that we eat. If I'm on meds, I don't have to change anything. My family have it, so I have it. But I can tell you this, just because your family has it, it is not your destiny to have it. Many times it's familial, not genetic, because we were raised in the same place, putting gravy on everything, refusing to eat, sitting down, drinking stuff, smoking stuff. You can change your outcome. And stop lying to yourself. How many of you get ready to go to your doctor's appointment by doing things you should have been doing for the 6 months before? All right, you are just lying to yourself. And when you lie to your healthcare professional, that could kill you. All right, that's like cleaning up when you have visitors. You know you got a nasty house. But when your cousin them and your mother-in-law come, it looks like you could eat off the floor, the wall, and the toilet seat. Remember that medical professionals are like detectives. They need the information to make it better. Don't lie to them. Don't lie to yourself. Don't die because you were trying to look like I'm good. I know people who will take 2 blood pressure pills just before they go in so their blood pressure will look good. Dumb. Don't be afraid of the scale. We've already talked about that. These ladies who came before me say that you know your weight as well as you know what? Your blood pressure, or you should know your blood pressure as well. You know your weight. Some of y'all ain't been on the scale. All right. Anybody want to tell the truth? How many of you don't get on the scale? All right. Thank you. The hands are going up slowly or like really low. But the scale should be your friend. It is one tool out of many that can tell you things that are going on and perhaps going in a different direction than what you want. That way, you're not surprised because you dieted up 40 pounds. Sometimes you can tell with your clothes, but we wear a lot of comfortable clothes and they stretch. Okay. This was me before. You're like, ooh. Yeah, that's what I said every time I tried to get my underwear on. So I thought maybe I should do something about it. So I did, because I was about to die while I was doing 15 things at once, worrying about everybody but me, not taking care of me. I was saying, I don't have time to do this. I don't have the ability to do this. Anytime that happens, change it from I don't have time to I can't. And think about what it means when you say, I can't take care of myself. You can, because now you got this fine specimen right here. I mean, I'm saying, wasn't it worth it? Go ahead, tell me. Woo! I used to say woo for a different reason. This is what I used to do. I'd rush home. I'd sit on the couch because I didn't want to go out. I was working hard. What I needed to do was something else. I needed to look at this and say, high blood pressure is not the norm. Many of you say, that's where I live. My blood pressure is always 150 over 90. My blood pressure is always 160 because that's just where I live. It's where you will die. Change your mindset about it and don't let anyone tell you you just have a little bit of high blood pressure. You need to know your numbers. Because if your norm is 110 over 70 and someone else is looking at 120 over 80 as your starting point, perhaps when you get to 130, you're already in trouble. The other person is in trouble at 140. Know your numbers, high or low. Additionally, some of us are trying to make some changes with our diets, right? Keto, vegan, crazy. Because some people are in such good searches for things, they follow trends. And the trend here is no bread, right? No white food, all of that. So these people decided they would make a pickle sandwich. Not have pickles on the sandwich, a pickle sandwich. The pickle is the loaf. That right there, how many of you know how many milligrams of sodium you should have in a day? Anybody got a number? Throw it out. 400? 1,200? That's a little low. Usually 1,500 to 2,000 is where most experts stay. That pickle right there, 2,400. Throw on some bologna meat, some pastrami, and some mayo, and some hot sauce. You got about a cardiac sandwich. You can do better. Eating healthy is good. You're eating relatively healthy today. Okay? Here's what you should do. You should get up. You should move around. You should get good sleep. Quick side note, those of you who have sleep apnea, one of the leading causes of death for sleep apnea is sudden death when you're not using your machine. Okay, everybody now, I want you to hold your breath when I say so and breathe again when I say so. So now hold your breath. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. Breathe. Did any of you feel stressed by that? Yeah, some people did. I mean, the marathoners over there, forget them anyway. But the rest of us were saying, whoa, that was a little bit hard. If you have sleep apnea, you're going through that over and over and over again all night long. And every time it happens, your blood pressure goes up. And sometimes your body can't catch itself. It's saying like, what? Why won't y'all help me? Use your devices. Don't die because it's inconvenient. But do what you can. I had sleep apnea too. And now that I don't, because I did some things, not everybody will be able to get rid of their mess, but a lot of you will. So get up, get to moving, make your body better. And go play. Go play. Here I am in the ocean with some stingrays. How many of y'all think that's fun? Yeah, like me. I thought it was fun, right? And even more fun is that guy next to me. He said, get in the water and kiss the stingray. I'm like, and then can I kiss you next? He wanted me to kiss the stingray, and I just gave it like a French kiss. I didn't do anything deep and crazy. You know what I'm saying? And next, I decided I would swim with a sea lion. Until I recognized that he weighed almost 800 pounds, and if he ran into me, he could break me in half. But I loved Leo. He was so much fun. But this is stuff I love to do. It actually relaxes me. So, what can you do now? Put the shovel down. Stop digging your own grave. Do the things you know to do, the things you know. American Heart Association has so many great tips. Just look them up. AHA.org is all you got to do and live longer. So, because once I was in one of those refugee camps that you heard about, and I was walking down the street after working many, many, many 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts, and the people who were helping me, my interpreter, said, we don't think you're going to stay with us. I was like, dang, I've been here 10 weeks in this heat, no air conditioning, and having hot flashes. Is that not enough to make you think I will stay? I said, we don't think you'll stay. So I went back home to my landlady, and I said, I don't get it. What do I have to do to prove that I want to be here? She said, when they said that, it means they think you're going to die, that you're working too hard, that you never take time to play, that you never relax. Do you know how bad it is when a refugee who has run away from war, have seen people killed in front of them, don't have anything but the clothes on the back, are telling you, you need to sit down and be still? I paid attention, and I did better. So I went to get my hair done at the Finger of God Beauty Salon. And then I went to have food with friends, though I have to tell you that eating out of the same place with strangers was a bit of a stretch for me. But in the end, I learned that some cultural norms can be my own norms as well. And then I hang out with people who are badass. We are world changers and we do it together, so it's fun. We're up in the Rockies. I'm looking out for bears. And we had a good time. You can do that too. Put the right things in your life, take the other things out. Hang out with friends. This is at High Point University. It was free on the campus. Do that. Cost not a dime. It was so much fun. And finally, try to have balance. I don't know if there's really any balance anymore, but you can strive for it. Working towards it, even if you don't achieve it, means something. Because when you're stressing and out of balance and worrying about what other people said, the hurtful things they did, remember, let it go. You want me to sing it like in Frozen? Yeah, you're right, you don't. So let it go. They have moved on, and so should you. Because don't say, I won't. Say, I can't, and see how ridiculous it sounds. Continue to imagine. And the next time you will be on this beach, enjoying this beauty, and not concerned about the life that you didn't live. Live for today, love for tomorrow. Take care of your heart, and it will take care of you. Thank you.